These so-called Democrats need to understand this. When thousands of Nigerians died in their hospital beds due to lack of electricity or lack of medicine, it is a crime. They are responsible for these sanctions. They are responsible for these deaths. The same thing is happening in Mali. With Burkina, we have indirect sanctions because
Welcome to Talk of Africa 360, your source for insightful news, analysis, and thoughtful commentary. If you value informed perspectives and fact-based reporting, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss an update. Disclaimer: the content on this channel is based on reliable public sources and credible online information. It is intended strictly for educational and analytical purposes. We do not promote or endorse political violence, hate speech, or any form of discrimination. Our goal is to inform, not to inflame. Thanks for being here. Let's stay informed together.
Across the African continent, a wave of bold defiance is rising, challenging centuries of systemic injustice and exploitation. At the heart of this movement are courageous leaders like Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso and President Hakainde Hichilema of Zambia, who are tearing down the old world order and forging a new path based on dignity, independence, and self-belief. From the capital of Ouagadougou to the streets of Lusaka, the winds of change are unmistakable. Africa is no longer willing to play the role of passive participant in a global game rigged against it. The call is clear: enough of the exploitation, enough of the humiliation, and enough of the empty promises. President Hichilema recently took a striking stand, exposing a long-overlooked injustice: the loss of millions of dollars through non-refundable visa application fees paid to the European Union and the United Kingdom. In 2024 alone, African citizens lost over $67 million to the EU's Schengen system and nearly $60 million to the UK, often only to be met with rejection rates nearing 50% in countries like Ghana, Nigeria, and Senegal. This is not just a financial issue, it's about respect, Hichilema declared. His call for refunds is more than a demand. It's a direct challenge to exploitative systems that treat African citizens as expendable. He's right. That money could have built schools, funded startups, equipped hospitals, or empowered youth. Instead, it evaporates into bureaucracies that have little interest in Africa's development. But this is not where the story ends, because in Burkina Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traore is doing more than speak, he's acting. His leadership represents a revolutionary shift, building national strength through local talent, investing in his people, and rejecting dependency on foreign powers. Traore is not seeking validation from the West or East. His message is simple: Africa has all it needs. What it requires is the courage to believe in itself. In Burkina Faso, his vision is materializing. Textile factories are up and running, producing homegrown fashion that meets international standards. Farmers are receiving the tools and training they need to feed the nation and beyond. Infrastructure is being built by Burkina engineers, not foreign contractors. Traore's administration is pouring resources into institutions that support and retain local talent, offering competitive salaries, education, and purpose. And it's working. Thousands of jobs are being created. Vocational schools are training youth in vital sectors. New roads, schools, and health centers are rising across the country, not built by outsiders, but by Africans. His commitment to keeping talent on the continent is unwavering. "We've lost too many of our best minds to scholarships that never bring them back," he said. That ends now. He's rejecting the brain drain that has long depleted Africa's intellectual capital in favor of building a nation where young people thrive at home. But Traore's vision isn't just economic, it's deeply personal. He speaks with sorrow and fury about the Africans who perish at sea trying to reach Europe, or those who endure abuse and discrimination in foreign lands. He refuses to accept that as normal. If our leaders had built a future worth staying for, they wouldn't be dying in the Mediterranean, he said. The contrast with traditional African leadership is glaring. While many still fly across the globe for summits that yield few tangible benefits, Traore stays home and builds. His criticism of leaders who sign overpriced contracts with foreign firms instead of trusting their own people is sharp and deserved. In one example, Burkina engineers constructed a highway for half the cost offered by foreign companies, a symbolic and practical win for local empowerment. President Hichilema's call for justice and Captain Traore's unapologetic nationalism form two sides of a powerful coin. One exposes the rot of global systems, the other provides a blueprint for how to escape them. Together, they're giving voice to a new African identity, proud, defiant, and determined to chart its own course. Young Africans are taking notice on social media. Platforms like X are flooded with videos and testimonials from Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, and beyond, highlighting Burkina Faso's transformation as proof that another Africa is possible. In Zambia, youth are rallying around Hichilema's demands. In Kenya, entrepreneurs are launching campaigns to retain talent. Across the continent, a generation is rising with the belief that their future lies not in Europe or America but right at home. And what if this revolution went continental? Imagine a unified Africa where talent moves freely across borders. Where Burkina engineers work in Nairobi, South African doctors support hospitals in Mali, and Senegalese tech innovators launch startups in Rwanda. The $70 million lost annually to visa rejection fees could instead fund Pan-African universities, startup hubs, and infrastructure. In this vision, Africa wouldn't be begging at summits, it would be negotiating from a position of strength. Traore is already showing what's possible. His government is nationalizing key industries, ensuring that the wealth of gold, cotton, and she benefits the people. His education reforms are nurturing scientists, doctors, and entrepreneurs who will build, not flee their country. Africa doesn't lack talent or resources. What it has lacked is leadership with the courage to break free from outdated dependencies, but that's changing. The mistreatment of Africans abroad, from domestic workers in the Gulf to nurses in Europe, is a painful reminder of why this revolution matters. These stories aren't rare, they're routine, and they must stop. The time for change is now. Hichilema and Traore are showing the way. If other leaders would only follow, Africa could shift from a continent asking for help to one offering solutions. A continent where its people are empowered, not exported. This is the future Africa deserves. One built by its own hands, fueled by its own dreams, and defined by its own voice. Across Africa, a quiet storm is becoming a roar. It's not a protest in the streets. It's a deeper revolution of thought, of courage, of leadership. Leaders like Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso and President Hakainde Hichilema of Zambia are breaking the chains of exploitation and reawakening Africa's spirit. This is a new era, an Africa that no longer begs, but builds. An Africa that no longer waits, but acts, and the world is beginning to take notice. This isn't just a policy issue, it's exploitation masked by paperwork. It's money that could have built schools, launched businesses, or funded healthcare. Instead, it vanished into systems that have no interest in Africa's progress. But while some expose injustice, others are building the alternative. Captain Ibrahim Traore isn't waiting for fairness, he's creating power from within. Under his leadership, Burkina Faso is producing what it needs. Textiles made by local hands, farms feeding the people. Roads built by Burkina engineers for half the price of foreign contractors. He's doing what critics said was impossible. Not with foreign aid but with African willpower. Traore isn't chasing loans. He's investing in local talent, local industry, and local pride. And he's refusing to let Africa's best minds be lost to the West. For decades, Africa's brightest have left chasing scholarships and dreams abroad. Many never return. Traore says, enough. He's making it worth staying by paying scientists fairly, training doctors, engineers, and innovators to serve their homeland, not foreign corporations, and he's not shy about what drives him. He speaks of the Africans lost at sea, those who die crossing the Mediterranean or suffer abuse in foreign lands. If our leaders had built a future worth staying for, he says, they wouldn't be dying in the ocean. Traore isn't alone. Across Africa, youth are watching and awakening. From Ghana to Kenya, videos of Burkina Faso's progress are spreading. They see factories running, jobs growing, hope rising, and the question is echoing. If Burkina Faso can do it, why can't we? Traore's government has nationalized industries. He's pushing education, agriculture, infrastructure and doing it on Africa's terms, while other leaders fly across the world for summits and signatures. He's staying grounded and building with his people. This is a model, a vision. A reminder that Africa is not poor, it's just been misled. Imagine this spreading across the continent. Burkina engineers building roads in Nairobi. Zambian doctors staffing hospitals in Mali. Senegalese coders launching startups in Rwanda. No more visa fees, no more brain drain, just freedom to thrive at home in Africa. The billions we lose to exploitative systems could fund Pan-African universities, could build tech hubs, could power an entire generation. Africa has the talent, Africa has the resources, and now it's finding the courage. The world is watching. Will Africa rise on its own terms, or remain entangled in the old world order? Traore and Hichilema have chosen the harder path. To speak truth, to invest in their people, to reject dependency. Their message is simple, powerful, and unshakable. We are not asking for help, we are building our own future. And now, the question falls to the rest of Africa's leaders. Will you follow? Because the time of silence is over, the time of submission is over. This is Africa's bold awakening, and it has only just begun.
As reactions continue to pour in from across the continent, one thing is clear. Africa is demanding respect, sovereignty, and accountability. Was this just a diplomatic misstep or a deeper sign of shifting global alliances? We'll be watching closely. If you found this story important, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real, unfiltered African news. This is Talk of Africa 360, telling the stories that matter.